Let's get centered. Just watch your breath as you breathe naturally. Hari Om. So today we start this new series of interactions called Mystics to Metrics. In the time of French Revolution, there used to be a hat seller in one of the villages in France. One day he noticed soldiers were coming back home, and he got curious to know what's happening on the revolution front. So he stopped a soldier and asked him, "Hey, tell me, what's up? What's happening?" He said, "The situation is very bad. People are getting beheaded." The hat seller thought for a while and then muttered to himself, "Oh, that means my business is going to get severely impacted because people will not have any heads to wear hats." There is a similar story of a little fly who was sitting on the wheel of a cart which was running through or driving through a village. And there was a lot of dust because the road was a mud road. As the wheel turned round and round, the fly thought to itself, "What is it that I am doing today because of which there is so much of dust?" Another story. Once upon a time there used to be a lizard who was positioned most often on the ceiling of a room. One day his friends came and said, "Hey, let's go for a party. Let's go and watch a movie." The lizard said, "Na Baba, na, that's very difficult." The friends asked, "Why?" "Well, if I move away from this roof, the roof will fall." Boss Teja, good morning. I'm talking about mystics to metrics, and we are starting with how flawed, how fallacious are the metrics which we take so seriously to work out not just our business plan but our life plans. The hat seller story, the fly on the wheel and the lizard on the roof proves that most of what we see is an illusion. And can you imagine that we are not just building lives, we are building lives, we are building nations, we are building businesses, we are building economies based on such illusions. When I ask you where is the sky, you will look up, right? As if the sky is up. We are flawed even in our language. When we say the sun rises and sun sets, the sun never goes anywhere. Hi Mridula, good morning. I'm starting the series of interactions on mystics to metrics. Mystics to metrics has come to me as a gift, and this is what has been driving me in my journey, whether it is with individuals or with companies, where I kind of help them to get out of their obsession with metrics and help them to see the underlying mystics, working on which perhaps will get them a much more real outcome than what they think is happening. So friends, I am talking about seemingly connected realities which are driving our lives, which in our Shastras is called Maya. You will be interested to note that the root of Maya and metrics and measure is the same. However, the question still remains, as to why are we so engrossed with the mystics? With the metrics. Why don't we deep dive to go into the cause? What stops us from exploring with deeper wisdoms to which both of us, all of us, are a privy to? Here comes another very, very big chunk of ignorance that most of us are carrying. Now listen to me. And this I saw, Pratima, good morning. This I saw and read in Facebook yesterday. Apparently, some very senior guy, he's worked with the corporate for a very long time, and he was surprised and astonished and maybe a little skeptic about the fact that an Ayurvedic doctor felt his pulse and could tell him all about his well-being or lack of well-being since his childhood. And we dismiss that, right? When we work with healers and healers happen to heal us, we dismiss that it was the work of the healer. Similarly, when we work with alternative medicine, and that's one of the reasons that we don't want to work with alternative medicines unless contemporary medicine has said goodbye to us. Because here is an axiom, and listen to me very carefully. The axiom is, what is not known is not possible, and what is not visible is not there. A hugely flawed axiom on which we are leading lives, we are leading businesses, we are leading nations. We look at things like utilization rate, EBITDA, and customer satisfaction, and all sorts of matrices, and try to fix them, right? Yes, maybe we can, temporarily. We are having a big powwow with Tata Sky for last couple of days. They came and in the process of trying to fix a problem with one of the connections, they disconnected it and left it like that. And when Tata Sky will do an analysis, and mind you, today people are going gaga over analytics. But what is analytics analyzing at the end of the day? It is only analyzing the flawed, the Maya of metrical data. To what extent does it help you to dive in? So this Tata Sky business, I'm sure when they do an analysis of their customer satisfaction, this will not prop up. They will see that it has dipped. But will they be able to deep dive and find out that something has gone wrong in terms of their managing their front line? And maybe it has something to do not just with the systems, but the manager who manages the front line. Peter Senge brought out long back this theory called system theory, which is very close to my approach of mystics to metrics. Very humorously, people talk about the system theory as when a butterfly flaps a wing. Here in India, it may cause a cyclone in Mexico. Well, it is not very difficult to connect to that reality, because right now, in the here and now, the air that you breathe is the air that I breathe. The energy that you absorb and live by is the energy that I absorb and live by. One connectedness or one consciousness is not a spiritual fad. It's a scientific reality. It's a scientific reality that not only are we connected to each other, we are also connected to the source. We are the source. So why is it that people are so bogged down with metrics and are refusing to deep dive into metrics? One, as I said, is the big block, the chunk of ignorance, the axiomatic ignorance that we are carrying. The other is the famous Rabia story of she having lost her needle at home and looking for it outside. I'm sure all of you would have heard it. There's so much of darkness inside. And where do you have the time? Chasing matrices, do you have the time to stop, go in and look at the mystics? So all the miseries that we are talking about, there's nothing wrong with Maya. It's about being able to see through Maya. As a matter of fact, the truth is as much a creation of the universe as much as Maya. So there must be a reason for Maya to be there. And the reason very simply is that can I start with the matrix? Can I start with the Maya to be able to come close, to be able to get a semblance, to be able to get a sensing of what truth could be like? Yes, my friends, so when I'm talking of matrix being the flawed data, the illusory data by which we are living life, mystics is the truth. The same truth that is embedded in all of us. It dwells inside and it can be plumbed in. But here is a catch. It's like people talking about the ocean being infinite. Go and ask next time when somebody says the ocean is infinite or the universe is infinite. Go and ask the person, did you go and check it out for yourself? No, it cannot happen. Because if he has gone and checked it out and he has come back from a point beyond which infinity would have been. But he did not explore unto infinity. And if he did at all, he wouldn't have come back, because he would have got merged with infinity. So that's the challenge with knowing the truth. One cannot be, while living in this mundane earth, be the knower and the doer. However, one can always be driven by the truth. I'll give you an example. One of the simplest example of mystics to metrics is obstacles to opportunities. When I was about to start this Facebook-like session, my phone suddenly hung. That was an obstacle. I had to reboot it. I had to struggle with many things to get it back and start the live show. But the moment obstacle struck me, I asked this question, why? And remember, this is the most powerful question that we all need to live with. Why? And in a certain state of awareness and consciousness, I got the answer. The answer was, I needed a few seconds just to arrange my thoughts. Just before I sat down, I was doing something else, and there was a hangover of that. And if I could arrange my thoughts, maybe I will be able to connect to you guys better. And that's how the show started. Another very favorite theme of mine in Mystics to Metrics is from mind to mindfulness. How would you react if I said that mind was an illusion, that there is no mind? There is so much of research, there is so much of data, there is so much of kach that is going on social media and otherwise on mind and mindlessness and mindfulness and whatnot. And here is this fool saying there is no mind. Well, think about it. What is mind? Mind is nothing but an aggregation of all your thoughts. Your frozen thoughts coming from the past into a space put together is what is called as a mind. Is there anything substantial about it? No. Now, the moment I start realizing that my obsession with my mind is flawed because there is no mind, and ask myself why, I start going layers and layers below. This is what is also called manan. Instead of flitting from one thought to another, you look at thought A, and from A you go down a level to A1, to A2, to A3, to A4, till you can't go any further and reach the bottom, asking why. And there you get in touch with the mystics. Why am I so obsessed with the mind? If you keep asking that question, you will get to be in touch with your conditionings, which lie at the base of the mystics. So guys, this in brief is the approach of Mystics to Metrics. It is applicable to life, it is applicable to world, it is applicable to business, it is applicable to politics, it is applicable to anything and everything that we are doing, because it is about deflawing the flawed assumption on which we are living life. And I think time has come. Time has come because early days I found people were completely oblivious that there was another world which was a real world, not an unreal world of matrix. And they would just 9 to 5 be engrossed in that and believe that they have done a good show of themselves and their businesses by delivering matrices. But today, interestingly, you will find many people are picking up self-help books. I also find people listening to self-appointed gurus giving gyan. You will not be surprised to see them in live shows conducted by these gurus. Why are they there? These are the same people who don't have time churning matrices. These are the same people who are kind of sinking the loads and loads of data, which has no meaning whatsoever. Now, here is the beauty of life. The truth, as I said, the seed of the truth is embedded in all of us. In fact, unknowingly, much of it we are living every day. The very fact that we are breathing is being driven by the truth, which causes us to live, to breathe and live. But the challenge with truth is that people think that, like many other things, because it is so dark inside, it can be acquired from outside. That's why the burgeoning sale of self-help books. That's why the crowd and the clutter around these mindless, self-appointed gurus and their talks. They think that they have a prescription, and they do prescribe. That's the best part. Because they are feeding into the vulnerabilities of people. They do prescribe, and people take it back home, assuming that they can live the truth now and go deeper down beyond the metrics. That's another piece of matrix. My truth is my truth, yours is yours. My experience of truth and your experience of truth can be very different. And my friends, it has to be experienced. It's not a red or a blue pill that can be given to you by somebody. What is given to you is beautiful. It's called life. And you are meant to experience life in the here and now, in the moments when you're truly alive, to be able to get a sensing of the truth, a semblance of the truth. And once you begin that, trust me, that's how my journey has been for quite some time, irritatingly sometimes, because I have found people get irritated when I ask too much of why. However, thankfully some of my proteges have understood it, those who I coach as a transformational coach, and they have gone into the habit in their day-to-day life, anything that happens, they don't do it as a post-mortem. They do it as and when the situation is happening. They ask why. And in doing that, two things happen. They get in touch with the truth, and most invariably, the truth is inside. The truth belongs to me. So which means I can do something about it. Which means a tweak there can help me to change the matrices upwards on the surface. So what I am trying to say is, matrices are very important, but don't get led by fallacious understanding of matrices. You are not meant to be led by them. You are meant to be led by the mystic, the truth. Matrices will tell you the outcome of being led by the mystics, the truth. So that, like when you watch the dashboard and the tachometer, you know exactly, and the RPM meter, how is your vehicle doing, what do you need to do, where do you need to go, your GPS tells you that. Those are all matrices. They're important. But if you get stuck with your GPS and try messing around with that, you'll be neither here nor there. You'll find yourself in a no man's land. So, in the coming days, some of the themes that are coming to my mind, which I would like to interact with you and share with you, through Facebook Live under the Mystics to Matrix series. Today was just an introduction. One of my most favorite themes is called Values to Value Creation. I'm sure all of you know that we all, as individuals as well as institutions, we carry values, very deep-seated values which we cherish and we hold on to very strongly. What many of us don't know is the value that we can create depends on these values. When I say many of us, many organizations don't know. For them, values, vision, mission is another branding activity. So the CEO and the management team, whatever they find is sounds good, looks good, will write down, put it up on nicely made, wonderful artwork, posters, put it up on the walls of the conference room, and then it's over. It's done with. It's forgotten. Ask any employee, what are the values of your organization? So values? We don't know values, we know delivery. We know the customer and the customer's feedback. We know CSAT. And things like that. So it's very important. So that is one. The other theme that possibly I would like to take up, which might be very relevant to people, is what startups are often struggling with, from purpose to profit. So profiteering is a bad word. Obviously it's a bad word because the way you go about profiteering is to deprive someone of something to be able to add on to your kitty. It's a zero-sum game that people are playing. But I'm sure many of you, or some of you at least, are aware that there is this movement of conscious capitalism or conscious enterprise where people are talking about inclusive growth. And that's where profit becomes an outcome of one living life and living businesses purposefully. How does purpose connect to profit? So that's another theme which I would like to perhaps take forward. And lastly, very, very topical, very relevant in today's context, managers to mentors. I'm sure all of us, and most of these mystics to matrix themes have been derived from my experience with corporates over the last 30 plus years, where I have seen them engrossed with the matrix, not being able to find out anything in the maze of matrix. And then suddenly, perchance, if I have been able to get in touch with them, guided them out of the maze to find out the mystics behind the matrix and thereby be able to tweak the matrix. So the last one, which is again a very favorite of mine and topical and relevant, is managers to mentors. So all those who have worked in companies, in organizations, whether it is a business organization, a for-profit or not-for-profit, would have experienced different kind of managers. And one thing you would have noticed, given half a chance, every manager wants to be a mentor. Feels good and proud to be looked up as a guru. Whether people like it or not, he will come and lecture and tell and give prescriptions with all good intent. It doesn't work that way. Doesn't at all work that way. I know of situations where such kind of mentoring tactics has led people to get more and more disillusioned, leading to employee satisfaction scores going down, and eventually people quitting organizations. So that's the third, and there are many more. Maybe what I will do is, after the talk, I will share a document which lists down some of these themes. So why I am sharing these themes with you in advance is, I will expect, and I haven't been receiving much questions. Now I really don't know to what extent I'm connecting to you, your queries, your concerns. I am talking from what I believe would interest you, would perhaps be of value to you. But please, I beseech you to please leave questions at the end of the show. When I put the show up on Facebook, please leave your questions for forthcoming sessions. And I would be glad to at least endeavor and answer them. Ramakant sir, very, very happy to have you here. Thank you so much. And please be here every Sunday 9. I know it's a little difficult to wake up early on Sundays, freshen up and be there for a live show, but it works. You kind of find that it kind of sets your day, you know. So please be here. So please, as I was saying, leave your questions. I will attach or link up a document listing down some of the themes of Mystics to Matrix. Let me know which are the ones which interest you, which are the ones which bother you, which are the ones that you are so stuck with, and how. Very interestingly, if you can share with me how, maybe I'll weave that in my conversation with you. Kausar, a little while ago, I don't know whether you were there, I was talking about how people are going out to find truth. They are buying self-help books and reading them, and they are going to self-appointed gurus and listening to their prescriptions. Unless the document creates a certain kind of experience in you, unless you reflect upon what you read, and from the reflection you deep dive into the world of wisdom, no document, no reading material, let me share with you, can take you out of the quagmire that you are in. So please be careful when I'm talking of mystics to matrix. Mystics cannot be bought. It has to be experienced. Pavan, yes, it is useful to read. I remember, I think it was way back 2005, I got this book called Stillness Speaks by Eckhart Tolle. I don't know how many of you have read. Trust me, till then, from then till now, I have never read that book cover to cover. That book is full of aphorisms. You read one aphorism, at least it happens with me, and for the rest of the day, I am with that. Deep diving with that aphorism. What does it mean to me? What in me is this aphorism showing me which I need to see? What is that truth in me that I can get in touch with following the lines of this aphorism? So yes, I will share documents, I will share many things, but my humble request to you is, if you can, please get out of an unconscious reader's shoes and be a watchful, more conscious leader. As in, what is the content of the document doing to me? If you keep asking that, and then the why is it doing this? And keep asking why till you get there. Trust me, in that case, you don't need a master. You don't need a guru. You are your own master and the biggest tool of your masterhood. Yes, I know you, Kausar, but I also know that we are living in a very, very humorously contaminated world. So I thought I'll just caution you. And it came from my love for you You are one of those pure souls who has stayed insulated, or I would say partially insulated from all the contamination. So be there. And the other reason is I write from spaces which are often not visited. They might create sometimes controversies inside you. Again, if they do, I think that's a good thing for you to trace the controversy to its root. Why is it happening? What does it say about me? And maybe it will take you there. So guys, I think it's about 40 odd minutes that we have spent together. Looking forward to your questions, looking forward to your ideas, looking forward to your comments. Let us make this session at 9 with Neil a little more interactive. May not be interactive online, but at least interactive on and offline. And let it be rich and let it be more useful for you all. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic Sunday and a fantastic weekend. See you again next Sunday at 9. Goodbye.